Hi, I'm Jazz from Group Technologies and we're here at Buchla Friends. I've got Enrique here with me from Elektron and he's going to go through his favourite features of the new Digitone II. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, of course. Hey, y'all. Thanks for having me. So we got the Digitone II here set up. I got it running through an analog heat, but we can skip that for now. Kind of focus in a bit more on the machine. One of the big updates from the first one to the second one is the addition of machines. So there's different synth machines in here. What's cool is, of course, we have the original FM tone, which is like a 1-to-1 of the original Digitone. Sounds great. But we have an FM drum, which gives you a ton of different parameters inside of this. There's even some PCM samples for the transient. So if you're trying to make like simple snare drums, hats, claps, it's totally doable on here. But one of my favorites is the wave tone. Now what wave tone is, it's going to be a 2 oscillator wavetable synthesizer. You can select between 2 different wavetables right now. So we have the primary as well as a harmonic wavetable. And then just adjusting your wave shape here, you're adjusting through the wave tone. And what's cool is those 2 oscillators then are of course polyphonic. And that's another big update from the original only being 4 tracks, 8 voices. Digitone II is now 16 tracks, 16 voices. So it's a big improvement of polyphony as well as flexibility when it comes to the machines. We've taken a couple of these track buttons away and moved like the arpeggiator here, or you got a note editor so you can build chords, copy paste chords. Each note can kind of have a roll or a flam and things like that on them. And not only that, when it comes to the filters, we of course have our bass width filter, which is like the classic Elektron style filter. But if I go into our machines, not only do we have machines for the synthesis, we have machines for the filter types. So we have equalizer, a comb positive, comb negative, our legacy style high pass, low pass, and a multi-mode. And what's cool is every track actually has 2 filters. So we have, for example, our multi-mode filter here, but say we wanted to do something kind of creative, we can jump over to the second page and do something corrective and kind of get it sitting in the mix well, but still have that fun creative side to this. Another one of my favorites of the machines here would be the comb negative or comb positive. So this is just going to add either peaks or valleys depending on how you want to tune it. And what's cool is if you hold down function and move this around, you're actually tuning it in octave. So it's almost like another hidden synthesizer within the machine. So the addition of that, we've gone from 4 pages to 8 pages. There's just a ton more to explore when it comes to the Digitone II, especially compared to the first one.
And Enrique, can you tell us, have there been any more improvements to the sequencer?
That's a great question. Yeah, there actually have been. So you can see here on the machine, we've actually added a sequencer section. If I turn it on, I can now just add steps to the sequencer using the Euclidean sequencer. But this is a bit more than just your standard Euclidean sequencer, because Euclidean, the easiest way to understand it, you're saying across 16 steps, give me 10 steps as evenly as possible. But there's 2 pulse generators. So I can say, give me 6 plus, 4, and then I can rotate just those 4 by themselves. And I can even add parameter locks to just this Euclidean step and maybe to this one here. And what's cool is these parameter locks will actually move about when I go and adjust these around. So if I shorten this up, you can see that they're now on 6 and 10, or if I add a few more, they're on 5 and 8. So it's this really fun way to just explore kind of generative, creative ways of making music. And this will stay in scale if you have the scale mode. And what's really cool about this is when you like what you have, you can actually lock it into the sequence itself or just leave it in Euclidean mode kind of indefinitely and just kind of keep exploring that world. And another addition to the sequencer that's kind of been improved is before it was just 64 steps or 4 bars, but now we're at 128 steps or 8 bars. And of course, every track can be its own sequence length. So you can have one be 100, you can have another one be 62, one be 2 steps, but then have an overall reset for the entire machine saying, all right, all these things are kind of free running, doing their own thing, but every 1,000 steps, reset all of the sequences at one go. So it's this really fun way to just kind of play the machine while it tries to play you at the same time. Yeah.
So not far behind the Digitone II, we have the Digitakt II. Can you tell us how it's improved your workflow with this new product?
Yeah, so similarly with the Digitone, the Digitakt has basically, doubled in a million different ways. I mean, we went from 8 tracks to 16 tracks. We went from mono to stereo. We went from 1 gig internal memory to 20 gigs internal memory. We went from the 4-bar or 64-step sequencer to the 8-bar or 128-step sequencer. And then again, like with the machines, we have the classic one-shot warp, which was added in a late update for the Digitakt 1. We now have a stretch machine in here, as well as grid and repitch. But hitting right, you have all the new multi-mode filter types, including the comb filter. And where the Digitakt has surprisingly became really versatile is not only do you have song mode, which you can just pull up instantly or jump between the different pages of patterns, and every pattern is independent from one another, so you can really build full tracks on here and a whole live set in one go without having to worry about switching patterns. But improving the internal memory from, I think originally it was like 60 seconds or something like that to about maybe 3 minutes. I can't remember the exact number now. You could build tons and tons of songs. So the way I've been using mine, for example, is it's just a catch-all. In the record menu, you can set the quantized record length to say, oh, give me 8 bars of recording or give me 32 steps of recording and start recording when I press play. So, you press play and it's going to start recording whatever you need it to be, and you can record from everything else. But I've just slowly added and built my machine to basically be Digitakt 1 on the first 8 tracks, which are all my drums. And then this is my chord sample, this is my bass sample, my leads. But they're not just one-shot samples, they're just full-on loops of me playing a piano into this thing. And I can just kind of keep building it up that way. And then just being able to quickly jump through the RAM. So the original, check this out. The original had 128 sample slots, right? If I go to the bottom, we're basically there, 127. But I can just keep hitting right, and I'm accessing RAM banks. So the internal RAM has been improved by basically 8 times. So I can have, all my piano samples on G, and then all my bass samples on F, and so on and so forth. You can just kind of keep expanding and expanding the machine. And I think that's one thing that's great with Digitakt II, is that as you add samples and sounds to it, it really starts to become your own personal instrument, because you're pressing record and recording the sound because you like it, right? So that's where mine's become. I can just kind of keep jumping through samples and I'm like, oh, that sounds good. And it's all stuff that I've just recorded in the past or pulling from other songs that I've worked on. So yeah, it's just it's a Swedish Army knife is what I like to call it.
Yeah, it sounds like it's gone through quite an evolution and almost limitless possibilities now.
Yeah,
so
and this is just the beginning. Like, it just came out, the original Digitakt was out for, 5-6 years, and it got a million updates that are all free that you can go download now. Same with the Digitakt. It just came out. So who knows what's around the corner. And we have Overbridge on it too now. So you never run into that groove box. What now? I've made a song. What do I do with this? On Digitakt II, you just plug it in with USB. Don't have to worry about your audio interface or anything like that. Open the plugin, track all 16 tracks into a DAW in one go. Over USB, no audio cables needed. It's awesome. It's super fun.
And it seems like there's lots more in store for the Digitakt II. We'll have to keep our eyes on it. There's heaps more here as well at Buchla Friends. So we'll be out and about having a look around at what there is. Thanks so much.
Cool. Peace.